to perform once again.
Yeah, really curious about this. I wasn't sure if the Sage was going to be the modus operandi for the Sentinels with this, but it seems to be. So let's see if it continues, of course, but I suspect that they don't really want to change too much in their lineup. So, yep, what we expected. Yep.
Yeah, just the same thing. So obviously one of the biggest, or the only big difference is going to be that Sage versus the Cypher. You know, gets played very differently. Cypher going to be a little bit more mobile, no matter which side of the map he's on. They can really switch up the trap wires as well alongside the camera. Always keep Team Liquid guessing, but it's going to be Team Liquid on defense first. And Enzo, if he's able to get those timings right, if he's able to communicate with his team, he can really be a thorn in Sentinel's side, slow that attack down, and then funnel them into the other side where the rest of his teammates are waiting.
Yeah, I mean, really, for me with Enzo, it wasn't even the story of the Sage walls, it was the slows that were really making things very difficult for his opponents. So, like, that's where I thought he was getting a lot of his value and against DRX, right? And so, like, this is going to be, I think, really interesting to see if, you know, especially without a double duelist, you can't, like, have one player who's necessarily going to be able to get over those slows with consistency.
We'll have to wait to see how that pans out. This is going to be the first map in a best-of-3 for the semifinals of the AVL. It is Sentinels versus Team Liquid.
All right, let's do it. I'm really looking forward to this. Pistol round win percentages, 70% for Sentinels.
I mean, they kind of dominated Group A, right? So they got the 2-1 win over Paper X, a clean 2-0 against DRX. No big surprise there. Team Liquid kept a little bit more honest with that 50% after an explosive start against Fancy United. See who gets the advantage here. Pistol round start. Sheriff in the hands of Nats on that defense, just looking to hold Garage on his own.
Yeah, let's see if there's going to be any mid-aggression. Enzo hanging onto this wall. He did this in the last pistol against Fancy United, not DRX, my bad, I misspoke there earlier, but he held on to it the whole time, never even put it up in the opening pistol round. I think they ended up winning it, and he was able to save those extra creds, so looks like he's using it more reactive than proactive. You know, in the pistol round, a lot of people might think we'll just block off mid and make it easier, but Zelsis going to catch Nats.
Yeah, I mean, Sentinels, they just cut noise the entire time, waiting for a bit more aggression after the spot in mid. And it's going to be Nats fighting that bait. So now B-side weakened quite a bit for Team Liquid. They're going to bring over Enzo there. Still has all the Sage utility, so he can put it out on a timer, buy a lot of time. The Trailblazers is going to be traded for the slow orb. Still one more in the bank as well.
Yep, and that's really nice. This buys a little bit of extra time here for Team Liquid to get their rotations over. You still do have John QT on the other side of the map, starting to get some pretty decent information, and that's going to be the rotation call here for the IGL of Sentinels to get everyone over to the other side.
Yeah, makes it all the way into heaven. Just barely does not cross paths with Yampi, so neither of them quite well aware of the other's position. I mean, John QT, he may get a little too eager here if he overextends. Now the question is Enzo, is he aware that heaven's been empty this entire time? The ping coming out from John QT and the jump ping from Enzo, but he's not going to be able to win the duel. Now it's up to Keiko. He gets the trade, and Yampi, he just was. That's spotted! What is that? The triple headshot! The track in the air! Shot down like a bird, and it's going to be the defuse for Team Liquid.
What in the world is that, Yampi? That is absolutely filthy. He isn't even shooting at that target initially. He just reacts instinctively. I mean, that is your aim lab training coming to life right there. That is unbelievable stuff from Yampi. And this looked good for Sentinels. I mean, you get the opener from John QT. He's cutting off the reinforcements, really making the flank angles that they're going to be able to create a lot more difficult here. But then Yampi just, he Yampi'd him. That's just all there is to it.
I mean, the replay operator is saying, like, what more is there to it?
He broke
Just look at the kill feed, yeah.
He broke the replay.
It happened. What else more can we say? Yampi sticking with that ghost. It was good for him in the pistol round. Surprisingly not taking that Marshall, only Keiko with it. A judge in the hands of Enzo as well. A diverse buy here for Team Liquid, as we oftentimes see with Split, a little bit more variation here on the anti-eco.
Well, that's it. Is it going to get any better than that today? I mean, already coming out with our first round with just such a stellar play, dude. I have just, that's what we needed. I love this. This feels like it is shaping up to be an incredible match.
Oh, and we might get some High octane action here, Keiko. He's waiting for it to clear, almost gets it all the way through. John QT surviving with a sliver of health. Now Sentinels, they don't have much of an option, just sticking with the pistols here on the eco. They've come in, they're trying to get different angles, but Zelsis hiding away. Saucy not quite aware of that one. Mystic still holding on to Bulldog, and that's going to be the target right in front of his face. John QT low on health, gets cleaned up with the classic.
Yep, nice little positioning here from Keiko. Gets a lot of value there with that one shot. Of course, penetrating into John QT as well. So just really nice stuff off the rip here from Team Liquid. That's an op I think I see on Team Liquid already. So you see this these days that a lot of teams are trying to see if they can squeeze in an op on the bonus round to try to convert it a little bit easier. And I mean, especially on split on Defender's side, when you win the pistol, you win the follow-up pretty cleanly, where you're able to carry over most of the important guns. You definitely have the room to try to squeeze this in. They're going to create some angles, some tight angles for Keiko to work with that wall. See if they can get anything out of it. First shot going to go wide.
Yeah, Sentinel's going to pick note of that. They still see the Sage wall as well, but Team Liquid spending a lot of utility early. However, all of this is to help Keiko get set up, right? They keep sending out the Sage wall, then the Trailblazer, now the Guiding Light as well, so that Keiko can move a bit more freely around the map. Keep Sentinels guessing on the operator's position. Now a judge in the hands of Mystic, waiting in garage. Team Liquid would not mind if a Sentinels gets funneled in through here.
No doubt. They're going to use the boom bot to check, but it goes wide.
He goes right around it. Oh, can't get the shot. That nerf coming in strong against the judge. Zelsis will get taken down quite low, but the heal available from Saucy, and Sentinels still 50 seconds on the clock. They can reset, reclaim control of both mid and B garage before they make their site entry.
Yeah, and they will have the toxic screen to work with. A couple guiding lights, paranoia available. Still one snake bite for Zelsis. So a few tools in the bag for Sentinels to try to get this done, to try to make sure that they're able to secure this very important round already. Oh, looks like they have pretty easy access here. Nobody's other than Yappy anywhere near this, so.
Well, I mean, Team Liquid, they kind of committed to the stack on A with the operator. They wanted to keep it safe. Yampi, just with a ghost, he was here early, see if anyone pushes out into alley. Not going to find a target there, but Team Liquid, if they want to go for the retake, they're going to need to get an early kill, and Yampi can't find the target. Zelsis with the Vandal, clean with the headshot, and that is the cue for Team Liquid to slowly back up, just wait for 1 or 2 extra kills as they would like nothing more than to deny the flawless. Tens barely dodging that bullet in the air.
And this is great awareness here from Sentinels. Now Nats is going to get in the back, at least find John QT, get some damage out of this round for Liquid. Can he find more?
Tens right next to him. They're both playing the mind games, trying to jump into Nats. Oh, Tens will find him as his teammates have already gone through Sentinels. They wanted to make sure they could exit out of range from the spike blast, and Nats not finding the advantages he wanted.
I love this round from Sentinels, man. Not only are they patient on this one, like they get to suss out the operator early. They don't really take any damage from it. Then their post plant they play specifically to make sure they don't give any opportunities over to the operator. It is, Tens does the one check. Yeah, it might be slightly risky, but you're just confirming the presence. Sure, Nats is going to Nats, but he only gets one, so at the end of the day, that's not that big of a deal for Sentinels. Really nicely thought out.
Yeah, no ults online yet for Team Liquid either, so Sentinels still able to play with the game plans they had in mind. As always, the first point of contact will be to figure out where this operator is, and it's going to be in a bit of an unexpected position, pushed out. I mean, we see the pushed out from mid often, but not with the operator, and that's, Second winning that duel. Keiko swings just a bit too wide, tries to hold the close angle, and Second was just waiting for him. Now the weapon's being swapped, so Mystic holding on to the operator.
You're going to have to commit a smoke early to make sure that you're able to pick that up. Then you're going to have John QT, that Cypher ult already, and they're going to try to take advantage of it. They saw Nats, the only one over on the A side, and they are going to try to punish it while Zelsis on the other end of the map tries to keep them a little bit busy, tries to delay the rotations as much as he can.
Yeah, I mean, that single-handedly buys so much time, and at the end of the day, it still keeps Yampi guessing on where that lurk might be coming in from Team Liquid. They are basically playing against the clock at this point, and in a 4v5 with an operator in hand, it's not looking easy for them. Nats just hoping someone over-aggresses, but look at the restraint from Sentinels. They're just not giving a single opportunity for the operator to get a free shot. They're happy to just wait and then slowly make their exit. Ten's even sending the paranoia. He's actually going to try to push through, see if he can find the operator. Won't find the weapon, but he'll find another kill against Nats. Now trying to wrap around, and that's the operator down here from Mystic. Stranded in heaven. Team Liquid will not recover it. They will have to run for their lives.
Yeah, this is just, again, great play calling from the Sentinels. John QT waiting for a really opportune moment, waiting till the smokes go down until mid is cleared a little bit to pop his ult. Immediately they identify the weaknesses and they start punishing it. That's a great hold there from Zekken. Make sure that Keiko can't even get a shot off. Saucy, absolutely pinpoint accurate. So the awareness through the roof for Sentinels, I mean, and I like some of the things I was seeing, like holding on to utility late into that round. Zekken still had both blast packs and a paint shell, so if things did get dicey on the site, he has the ability to re-enter from watching the flanks and things like that. So everything really, really good for Sentinels in that round.
Yeah, the Toxic Scream. Oh, okay, Mystic just kind of going for the spray down through the one way he sets up for himself on B Garage. That's an early kill, and against the Toxic Screen as well. That alleviates a lot of pressure from the B side. Yampi just trying to stay alive as he jumps across. But this mid-Toxic Screen, I mean, Sentinels has been disrespecting it quite a bit in the past couple rounds. This time just simply walking through it. A little bit of noise made, not sure if it was heard.
This is going to be a pinch, potentially.
Yeah, John QT's just drawing out the fire, but they have been heard. Yampi gets one. Can he go for more? The blast back just keeping them at bay, but Tens runs right into the sights of Nats. The guiding light, the pop flash. Yampi wants the kill, and Zekken cannot get away. Keiko swings around for the 180.
John QT got backed off at kind of the wrong moment, so the Sentinels get a little discombobulated there where they're not able to really collapse on towards that ramp like I think they wanted to. And like you said, the noise gives it away, and Nats is just not going to give up this angle at all. That is so nicely handled here by Team Liquid. A great response, good awareness. Is going to be able to get them around, and the Sentinels just a little bit off balance with their timing.
Yeah, a bit unfortunate. I mean, a nice variation, right? They hadn't dug that deep onto mid, and they haven't been really going for these quiet plays all that much. They've been waiting for contact first. But, okay, that's just a spray down through the screen as well. Keiko comes right back around from the rafters to pick up that kill. And there it is. You hear the cheers coming in for Team Liquid. Nats.
Okay, there's a smile.
Yeah, right. Some emotion. I like
Finally
it.
Came through. Yeah.
Well, the buys will still be online for both teams.
Absolutely. I mean, I really like what we're seeing here so far. Good adaptations, good ideas. And now looks like they're going to start out with a little bit of pressure towards A. You still do have the other two players on the other side of the map there for Sentinels, so just spreading the map now, doing a little bit of checking into mid, and I think they're just trying to identify and isolate, what information they can off of the utility of their opponents, see if they can make a move off of that. Mystic, he has been all over the place on this side of map. We're going to take a scrape of damage off that Jiggle Peak, and now thinking about the paranoia just in case, but doesn't get any more contact, so able to hold on to it for now.
Yeah, the slow orb comes out as well, so Team Liquid making sure they don't double down too much. No overreaction in terms of utility in the next slow orb as well. Paranoia is still at the ready in case they try to jump across. Now that's the wall and the slow orbs down. 45 seconds still on the clock. Sentinels, now they just really have to worry about that potential paranoia that could deny the entire entry, so they will go for a split push in from heaven. Second already through, ready to pounce onto the site. Enzo, he needs to get this kill. Can he get it? He finds one. Not able to lock onto Tens as he drops down. Tens just getting sight, keeping Team Liquid at bay, and the creep out. Yampi finds him on a swivel, and that's going to be a 3 versus 2 on the retake.
None of those Seekers went towards Zelsis.
Zelsis almost finds that kill, but not able to clean it up just yet. John QT has been spotted, so Team Liquid well aware that this is going to be a left-right wide angle. John QT wants the early kill on Heaven. Zelsis, is he ready for the pop flash? He can't swing in time, but he does hide out. Now Zelsis against 3 members, but he is relatively low. They are going to make sure they chase through, and he'll spray down 1, but has been fully blinded as Nats will get 1 point closer to his Viper's pit.
Oh man, I like the initial ideas here from the Sentinels. They work the map really nicely. They spread things out. Eventually they find some space into mid. Once the Sage Wall goes down, that's when they start making their moves, setting up the crunch. Initially, it's executed really, really nicely. They're going to come through, catch a lot of people off guard on the side of Team Liquid, and then they've got a decent setup, but then Saucy goes exploring, and Yampi catches him just a millisecond before, Saucy's able to react to it. And And that kind of starts turning things around because then you've still got those flashes left for Yampi that are really able to set them up nicely for those pushes at the end of the round.
Yeah, it's always a tough choice to pick between, pushing out just for a bit more territory, a bit more information to delay the retake. And this time, Saucy had through a smoke. He thinks he should be safe, but they just cross paths at the wrong time, and Yampi reacts half a second faster. And this will call for a timeout from Coach Kaplan. As Sentinels, they were able to win their bye round against the bonus and chain it into 2, but no more rounds after that. Team Liquid instantly taking the momentum back into their own hands to get a 4-2 lead.
Yeah, this is really solid stuff here from Team Liquid. It looked like for 2 rounds there that Sentinels were getting such a good read on how to work the map, like finding those weak sides of Team Liquid like every time. And now they're still kind of doing that, but the reactions are just a little bit faster and a little bit better here for Team Liquid. So it seems like they have kind of read the game plan here, is that, if there is a weak side, that as soon as there's pressure on it, that's when you can rotate. It helps as well that the clock had dwindled down so much in that last round that you kind of had to assume that there wasn't going to be much opportunity for Sentinels to pivot. Of course they could try to cut through mid, go through ropes or something, but at the end of the day, it makes it a little bit easier for Team Liquid to react. So now, I think Sentinels here, maybe just gonna try to find a little bit of a different opportunity, maybe a double pump.
For this. They're ready for the showstopper. They were all well aware of that potential peek out. Now he'll find one target, but Zelsis right by him. Keiko, does he have the awareness? He's just going to back out, and this might be an opportunity for Zelsis. However, Sentinels, they look like they're committed for the push into A site, so Zelsis still hiding away in mid, just trying to gain a bit more information. Mystic does get the pick off, though, and he's holding ramp strong. The spike has been stranded, and at this point, TenZ, he has to battle through the enemy lines from behind, and he'll get spotted. He still gets to swing around, trying to keep his eye on all the potential angles. He knows there's one in heaven. They are aware that Mystic has pushed through on ramp. Zelsis has to win this fight. Meanwhile, TenZ trying to wrap around, but Mystic once again coming online on the Omen. And TenZ will find one, but it's still a 1v2. Pop flash at the ready. Oh, they're going to wait for the shadow step. The nice fake out on that guiding light.
Yeah, they read that nicely. A good TP there from TenZ to get some space, but nobody else on the flanks could kind of win their battles for Sentinels. They're not able to dodge this ultimate as well as they had liked. The slow warp did come down, but Zekken, his gun sticks out just enough that you're able to get the kill, and nothing that really could be done about it by Zelsis. And then this is just snappy. Mystic, absolutely nuts. Here you go, Yampi not fooled in the least, heard the TP and is like, let me guess. You're trying to get underneath us, do something a little bit crazy. TenZ likes to be aggressive with those TPs, so clearly that is something Team Liquid has identified.
Yeah, Team Liquid continuing the lead, getting very close to a couple of these big ultimates. Of course, the Resurrection and the Viper's Pit going to be notable there. Meanwhile, Sentinels, if they can get into the site, maybe even with the help of the Seekers, they can try to secure one round again on the board with Zelsis' Viper's Pit. Now a heavy focus onto ramps, but the spike still left a bit further behind. Sentinels trying to identify the weakness, and Enzo says, well, you're not going to find it this time around.
I've got your
trade. Yeah, the trade for John QT, though.
Oh, TenZ trying to chase through. He knows they were tagged. The Seekers just trying to be the shield there, but it's going to still be a one-for-one trade. TenZ, he hears the shadow step, but it's Mystic. TenZ has a guess, and it's going to be in the smoke. The Omen Mind Games now, the Viper's Pit to cut off B Alley, trying to buy time for Saucy. Now, Saucy's very low. If Keiko is able to peek out at the right time, he could still ruin the plans of Sentinels. Toxic screen being used as well for safety. Guiding light just to check, as Zelsis has had to protect the Viper's Pit. Team Liquid choosing to group up, but they don't have an idea of exactly where TenZ is gone.
Oh, they're going to need some good utility here. Good paint shells, Paranoia to clear the backside of this if they're going to maybe have a really good chance with TenZ on this lurk.
Finds one. Oh, if he was able to stay alive, so much time would have been bought. But now that he goes down, Team Liquid confident they can go into the site. And Saucy going for another curveball. He's going for the wraparound as we see the double pit come up. Zelsis has been pushed out. The snake bite going to be used to buy time. Saucy, he's got the ping down. And Team Liquid, they have no idea. They aren't even suspecting that there's going to be yet another member up in heaven. Zelsis just trying to draw even more gunfire. The defuse comes through, and there's the fire from the Bulldog from above. Zelsis gets the cleanup, and it's going to be the third round win for Sentinels.
Now Nats thinking he could maybe win out. The guy has been so good throughout his career in situations like that, but just enough of the Viper's pit for Zelsis inside of the alley there, that he doesn't have to overcommit to that angle for very long with the decay really affecting him at all. So he's able to just sit in the back and kind of buy time for Saucy to wait for that spike tap, and then he can spray down. Then eventually you have to try to run through. It really hurts that they lose Keiko as well, because there was a lot of utility left for Keiko to use to try to clear that Viper's pit. There's still paint shells, still a couple blast packs, so definitely TenZ finding a ton of value on that lurk, not just with the kill, but also at the agent eliminated.
Yapi trying to shut down this potential push with the showstopper online from Second, and Sentinels, they're not stopping at all. It's been a 5-step from the get-go. They're relying on that ultimate, and will find the target onto Keiko. Curious to see if he caught vision of Yapi as well, as we're going to see the crowd around from heaven, but Sentinels, they are on top of each other, making sure they have each other's backs. The trades come through as TenZ finds the last kill. Now only Enzo left alive. Resurrect online, but all the corpses way out in the open.
Spike planted.
He's gonna have to do it on his own. Throws the slow orb. He will hear the drop. Trapwire online as well. Oh, the bait with the Resurrect. He's hoping that it's going to be a swing around, but at the very least, now it's a 2v2. The Paranoia is still alive as well. The right target to Resurrect, and from the shadows, from TenZ all the way out. He's hoping that they're in the smoke by that time. And it's going to be Team Liquid one step ahead.
Ah, man, this is a really good entry here for Sentinels. You know, obviously with the showstopper makes things a little bit easier, but they're really all kind of doing the right things in terms of they know what their responsibilities are on this execute. You know, John QT ready for Nats push out as quick as they can. There's the utility to help set up the showstopper. Keiko immediately throwing a phenomenal paint shell to take out Yapi. So like this execute, Sentinels I think really read the positions of Team Liquid well. Problem becomes is that there's still that res left, and they choose the target that still has the utility that can turn that round on its head, and Sentinels don't feel confident to try to punish the initial res. You know, you're always worried that that res is going to be bait or something like that, and it works a treat for Team Liquid.
Yeah, I mean, just that narrow pathway, always so risky to peek out of. They're on the elbow of A site. Early Trailblazer used on that side of the map. Meanwhile, B site, a lot of space given up on Garage. Draws out the early Paranoia on top of the slow orb. So Sentinels getting a little bit more value than they normally have at this point in the round, while also being broken. And only 2 rifles to try to initiate this attack.
Right, checking. Just saw one player up there. I think he just might have gotten a glimpse of Nats.
Yeah, but look at all this movement from Team Liquid. They've already surrounded Sentinels. I mean, they gave up mid and said, well, now you're going to be trapped in the middle of the map. I mean, Sewers has been given up, so has Ramen. And Sentinels, they have no way of identifying this. Sure, you can guess, but at that point, there's just so many angles you have to cover. Now Team Liquid quick on the tail. This is going to be a couple beats faster than Sentinels would have bargained for. We don't see them coming back around to get the swing. Oh, the nice shot onto John QT as he tries to hop around the pillar. Now Second has an idea. He's just going to hold this close angle. He finds one target, repositions on the rafters. Team Liquid buying time for Yapi to try to go all the way around. The smoke comes out from TenZ. We'll see if that's going to stop the Sky. And Saucy also ready for the pushback out from Ali as well as Sentinels. They've got a couple layers to this post plant.
Oh, TenZ.
TenZ has his crosshairs trained, but this one timing, Yapi goes for the pop flash, and he will get the kill onto TenZ. Can't get the spray down onto Zelsis, and the rest of the team, Zekin picking up 4 total kills as Sentinels gets yet another round.
I mean, it's just really, really interesting that Team Liquid tries this. I kind of get it, because you know that the buy is going to be weak for Sentinels, and you assume that, okay, well, if we just retake control of Heaven, we're going to have the better long-range weaponry. We can do stuff like this, just make their lives a living nightmare. But these close angles held really, really well by Zekin, and that makes things all that more difficult. And, you know, with Saucy holding down the alley, keeping Nats in check, he never gets much done. Yapi's lurk is pretty well accounted for pretty quick. So the Sentinels just have a better reaction to Team Liquid's play. Even though they don't really read it, it's sort of that instinctive sense that they have. Once that plant goes down, they're kind of like, okay, they've given up way too much space. They got to be coming the other way. Zekin!
Oh,
expected the pop flash.
Yeah, he was just ready for it. He had his stringer figure primed and ready to go. Flash or not, he gets the kill. I'm sure he's feeling a lot better in today's match than he did against DRX, despite the 2-0 win. And now Sentinels trying to tie things up, maybe even get all the way to a 6-6 half, which would be pretty big. You know, they started down 2-4 after the first 6 rounds, now clawing their way back in. Only a couple Sheriffs on the side of Team Liquid for this defense. The wall finally goes up at the 1 minute mark, just trying to buy more time, a bit more info. And I mean, you hear the gunfire, but this doesn't help Team Liquid much, right? You're like, okay, well, there's still a couple members in mid, but we don't have the firepower to push out from anywhere. We're already down a member, and Team Liquid, they'll just have to stick to the stack on A site, hope that they have guessed correctly, which it does not look like will come to fruition.
John QT here should be getting the read on at least one player potentially from that camera if he had checked it. He's barely going to win that fight against Enzo.
Yeah, and I think that opens up the site entirely. The death on Mail, no follow-up trades there. John QT still watching his back. The trap wire now set up for the potential flank. And we'll see if Team Liquid commits to it or not. Just trying to clear out mid for the time being, see if John QT is still lurking around. Either way, weaponry not in their favor. Now you kind of have to hope that Yampi hits some miraculous shots with the Marshall. He's oftentimes good for at least one, but can he get 2 or 3? Which is the number they're going to need. Tries to get the shot into second, misses. He's just waiting for these trades to peak out. And Sentinels, as soon as they get the spike plant down, they've always been so static against the retakes here, making sure that they don't peek out one by one. Saucy hiding out after getting a scratch through the box. At Team Liquid, the idea is clear. They just want to keep them trapped in here, to die to the spike, take away some of these weapons, maybe get a couple free kills, but it's going to be second with another. He's trying for the third, and he will get it. Catching up 5 to 6.
Yeah, just flawless for Sentinels. Everything pretty well accounted for here. Able to once again find the weaknesses on the map, exploit it pretty quickly. I mean, yeah, Team Liquid, the guns aren't great, so it's going to be challenging no matter what without some really nifty sheriff shots or some good marshal shots from Yampi. But just finding Enzo out in the open a little bit. Again, with John QT's utility over on the other side of the map, over on A side, there's no real concern that there's any push-outs or anything like that. So able to just kind of methodically work their way through, get the job done. The trap wire set up just in case Yampi tries another end around there on him. But yeah, overall, solid response here from the Sentinels in the last couple of rounds, able to get themselves right back on track.
And this is kind of the classic setup when area of the Cypher, right? Cypher on A, main, draw the attention, main force on B, this time relying on the showstopper. Now it's going to go clear the site first. They're just relying that there are going to be members in backside, even the paint shells to make sure this is a good execute into site B, as Sentinels will take control of this part of the map.
That's great punishment there. Mystic's really been liking that area behind the edge of the map there, and Keiko only taking a little bit of damage at Graze. Here we go. Let's see what they can get done on this retake. It's going to be very, very challenging, a 3v5.
Seeker's online, but Nats gets caught. He's good for one. Keiko, he needs to get another, but no, it's going to be the 1v3, and Yampi can't do it. Things are tied up 6-6 as we now prepare for the second half.
That's a phenomenal attacker's half here for Sentinels. Honestly, able to bounce back quite nicely. Get some good reads, I don't think it was technically a thrifty, but it might as well have been with only 3 sheriffs in there. That's a really, really good comeback. And Sentinels, even though they had a good read on the rotations after the first couple of rounds that the Sentinels were able to put together, Team Liquid responding nicely, and eventually Sentinels just kind of able to work the map and get some really good, easy post-plant set up for themselves deep into the backside of B there and make things very, very challenging.
Yeah, I really liked that execute with a showstopper, right? We've seen so many Razes just try to dive deep into the site and get shot out from the air. I mean, maybe you get one, but you still get traded. But working around the site, you're able to clear heaven, you clear hell, and then you still got the Trailblazer and your teammates to create this double angle, keep them trapped in there. Even the paint shells to make sure that both members will go down. They'll have to peek out into their crosshairs, and Sentinels kind of finally cracking the code, not so concerned about the Sage utility in that last round. They'll just bulldoze through. And now as they switch sides, the big problem for Team Liquid is going to be how do they identify the setups from John QT Cypher?
Yeah, absolutely. That's definitely going to be the trickiest part here, is navigating that utility. Can you use, when you identify that utility, to bait out players, to bait out rotations from the Sentinels? Things like that are going to be really, really important. Definitely, there were some concerns with me on the Team Liquid attacker side when they went over there a little bit, but not bad. I mean, they played pretty well against Fancy United, but are you going to be able to use that Sage wall to effectively cut off those angles, get the job done that you need to do?
I love the
Have
excitement.
you ever seen God?
Yeah, for all the Korean fans getting to watch some of their favorite players here from Americas and EMEA. We do have fans across both sides. And now we'll get to see them for a bit longer as things are tied up 6-6. Still quite a few rounds left to go. Here on the very first map of this best of 3, Team Liquid will initiate their first attack. It's tagged by kind of like an early Paranoia as well. Keeps them trapped up, but that's some crucial util already gone from Sentinels.
Yeah, it seems like Team Liquid felt like there was going to be an aggressive push out early from Sentinels, but maybe just pulling the trigger on the utility a little too quickly. Saucy here, gonna dodge that, trying to catch a little bit of damage with the right clicks. Doesn't really do too much. Yampi taking a smidge of damage.
Yeah, Yampi hears it. He's got his crosshairs trained. Saucy just going to back up, allowing Tens to get the trade all the way from screens, but no info coming through. And Zealous is now aware that it's going to be a push, and the Snakebite gets the debuff onto Enzo. He runs right into the right click, and the Sage now goes down. Team Liquid trapped in Mail. They have to back out. The next Snakebite as well. They don't know if there's been further rotates. There's still 50 seconds, so they can try to rework the map, but so much intel that they'll have to regain here.
Saucy's still hanging on to a lot of utility. He's still got that Trailblazer in the back pocket if necessary. Not sure if he's saving it for the retake or just going to wait for a timer, maybe like 25 seconds to send it out and do a check
30 seconds left.
Onto like ropes or something like that from where he's standing right now. Meanwhile, the rest of Team Liquid is rotating over, and they're going to have to make a go towards the A site. Time's running low.
Yeah, paint shells and the smoke to try to keep Tens at bay. He'll still get quite a few shots onto Mystic, though. Oh, Saucy gets spotted, trying to get the heals over to his teammates. He's going to be sacrificed, but John QT there for the trade. Still a numbers advantage for Sentinels as Spike barely going down. Keiko going for a very risky play. Tries to swing on. He gets the wide swing and the double onto Tens. Now just John QT full health, but only a classic in hand against 2 ghosts. But 2 members that can't even add up to 100 HP. The right clicks, can they come through for John QT? He's trying to close the distance. Wants to get the jump on him. They haven't noticed that he's gone all the way around, but they've also hit in their bodies. The fake. John QT, the paint shells come out. Gets one, but the paint shells are going to buy enough time. He has to stick it right now, and he's going to have to go for the half, and Mystic knows it. Gets the clutch with only 16 HP.
It's a great read of the clock there for Team Liquid. They know that if they double stack that angle, either they're going to run into him and force him to win a really challenging fight, or they can spread things out, use that paint shells to buy the time that they need to get Mystic up to heaven and force him into a bad position. I mean, again, Team Liquid getting bailed out by some incredible gunplay here on the pistol round. Like, frankly, Sentinels had a great read. They had pushed space, and then Keiko does that. I mean, that's... Sentinels should have him dead to rights most of the time, but they just can't quite find the shots in time. And Keiko, again, just like Yampi in the opening pistol round, able to take matters into his own hands.
Yeah, and Sentinels now on another eco. They're going to want to get whatever advantage they can, so they commit quite a few resources early on the B side to collect that ult or try to build up towards that showstopper that can really be a game changer here on Split. And now just a full stack. Sentinels just saying, we don't have the util nor the weaponry to deal with an intel fight, so we'll just go for the stack. Hope that Team Liquid comes in. Saucy with util at the ready just to make it a bit more advantageous, but Team Liquid, they sense something's fishy, right? You heard the ult orb, so Enzo's looking for that. The Paranoia comes out, they're trying to create more distance, but Keiko just a bit too close. Saucy gets another one as well. Yampi, he's been Paranoia, and Mystic goes down. All the weapons on the floor, and Sentinels, they'll get their pick of upgraded rifles as Enzo stuck on the other side of the map with only a ghost in hand.
Oh, that smoke timing so good for the Sentinels there. They're able to find a kill, it comes down, they're able to spam through for another. Now just Enzo with nothing but a ghost and a dream, trying to find space behind Sentinels to get back to this spike, but
30 seconds
what
left.
A trap play, Team Liquid. Even though I think they had a decent read on it, they're just not able to respond. Now that's good.
Well, they were so good about it during the post plants, this time kind of assuming that their advanced weaponry will give them the advantage. These members are low, but not enough time. I mean, Enzo knows he just has to bulldoze through. He'll get a second one for his troubles, but Sentinels, all they wanted was a round win, and they got some upgraded rifles as a bonus.
There you go. That's nice little cheeky play. Again, a lot of that early utility was dodged by Team Liquid. The flash and the Paranoia, they didn't hit them.
Yeah.
But it still didn't matter. They just pushed through. And they're just doing so much damage here. And then the Paranoia of their own to start covering some more space. That smoke comes down, and Tens has the angle on the Mystic. So good from the Sentinels. I mean, even though the initial utility isn't there, it makes Team Liquid panic enough but they're able to break some crosshairs, land some great shots, get the job done. And now you got a couple marshals, Yampi, Enzo, Guardian for Zelsis, Phantom for Zekin and Saucy, and Tens, and a Bulldog for John QT. So obviously, firepower going to be superior here for the Sentinels, but who knows? Team Liquid, maybe they can thrifty them right back.
Yeah, we've seen some Marshall play from this squad coming over from EMEA, but on split, I gotta imagine it's a little tough. The guiding light just to scout out. Backside, Keiko will make some noise, but Zelsis also not greeting that as he doesn't want to give away a free rifle upgrade. Yampi, this is the Marshall that we've been talking about. Just a swing out and domes John QT through the box. Now that's all the Cypher utilities shut down on B site. So Sentinels, if they want to play it safe, they're going to have to commit at least one extra person on that side. And Team Liquid says this is our opportunity. A site has to be weakened compared to the start of the round. Let's rotate right away. Oh,
spot there. Nats gonna try to use some of his utility to clear mid and just buy a little bit of extra time for these rotations over to the other side of the map.
Oh, even the Omen spoke. It draws out Sentinels entirely, and Tens will hear the util now, but he can't risk it too much. He has that Phantom, doesn't want to give it up. Going to look for potentially a spray here. Here's any gunshots, maybe some close footsteps. Team Liquid not overextending just yet. Oh, and the Trailblazer doesn't spot him. Tens will get one kill. Now a 4v4 weapon, still advantageous here for the Sentinels on the defending side. The heals coming out from Saucy, but they want to start pushing through. Not going to regroup altogether just yet. Oh, the wall blocks the blast pack for just a bit, but he's still able to creep through, and Enzo has no idea. He thinks he still has more time. And now the remaining two members of Team Liquid, only one left, stuck on the ramp. Yampi just wants an extra kill. Goes for the pop flash. Zelsis buying time for the defuse, and Yampi will not find his target.
Great recovery here for the Sentinels. Some nice shots from Yampi. I mean, look, his firepower has been through the roof this event. He hasn't missed a beat in that regard. But there's a nice little bait and switch here from Tens and Saucy. When Tens hears that Trailblazer coming, he calls for the help, for the shots from Saucy to distract the Trailblazer. That sets him up for this easy kill on the Keiko, and that's when things start swinging into the Sentinels' direction. They're able to start swinging into the site from multiple angles, causing a lot of confusion in Team Liquid's back line. So it's little plays like that. The coordination between Tens and Saucy there is what helps win them that round that much cleaner.
Yeah, I mean, Tens hiding away from the smoke as well, making sure his barrel doesn't stick through. We've seen a couple unfortunate moments like that already at the AVL. Just going to be a fast execute from Team Liquid. They haven't cleared all the trap wires just yet. It's going to be Mystic going up first, and he's dodged everything, going well onto the rafters. John QT just cannot track him at all. Oh, the Magician himself back on the field on the Omen. Zelsis, he knows this Omen is dug deep, but Mystic just wants to buy time. He just wants info. Zelsis looking for the swing. He'll take a smattering of damage, but still healthy enough to continue the fight. 3v4 on the retake for Sentinels, and they even it down to a 3v3. Ali now being cleared with the paranoia, a trading of the guiding lights, and now Yampi and Saucy, it's just going to be a peaking battle, and Yampi says, you know what, we'll commit to the stronger fight on site. He's got to lose that one out as Tens gets another clear, and so does Zelsis. Sentinels, once again, when it comes to the trading angles, they come out on top and take the lead 9-7.
Oh, the timing here from Sentinels, so good. Everybody on the same timer to step out and take their fights and just try to win those 1v1s, and everybody's winning them, and that's huge. And yeah, you definitely got to pump the brakes here as Team Liquid. Oh, just so good. I mean, Mystic, man, doing his best Mysterio impression. You just think he's one place and he's actually another. I mean, I absolutely love the stuff that he's been pulling out here from time to time in this event. But Sentinels have been really aware of it. It's obviously been a big storyline for Team Liquid and for Mystic. And every time that he's, TPing, like, it's immediately checking multiple angles. Like, somebody on Sentinels is, like, flicking back and forth because they're like, okay, where did he actually go?
Yeah, and you're just trying to spray through the smoke, and that allows Mystic to have just an extra second to shadow step even further. And again, I mean, the entry itself, it throws Sentinels off, but they take just a bit too damage, and they will be evened out down to that 3v3, and then Sentinel swings out all in coordination. I mean, the biggest thing perhaps being that Saucy wins that duel against Yampi in Garage, right? I mean, that opens things up. Yep, makes Team Liquid panic just a bit more on the post plant. So Coach Emil going to give them a little bit more of what he's been seeing. Make sure they can regroup together.
Poor Emil.
And then
he's already
like,
stressed.
Emil's just like, well, I don't know if it went through. I guess we'll wait to find out. But Keiko trying to bring the vibes back up here for Team Liquid. They had the lead the entire time. Then now after the tie at the half, they've given it up for the first time going into round 17.
Well, you've got the res, you've got some seekers here for the side of Team Liquid, so if they can find an opportunity to get deep into enemy territory, sure they can get close up. And if somebody gets taken out early, get the opportunity to use a res. Now, we do have Keiko cut off there a little bit momentarily from the rest of Team Liquid, but smoke's in place. No one's really able to punish that from the side of Sentinels. Otherwise, Sentinels just going to be locking it down. Camera there to kind of watch both the entrance and B Heaven. Smoke though immediately brings out the snake bite from Zelsis.
Yeah, then this is so good coming out from Saucy, right? Because right now, Sentinels, they've given up entire mid control. They had to use so much neutral on the side of B. So he pushes out, gets the Seekers online, and also makes sure that A main's still somewhat safe. Now the execute coming in from Team Liquid, but they've lost a lot of speed. The wall finally going up. Paranoia can still come through to delay the entry point though, and they've realized no one's been jumping out. The Seekers from Yampi going to be falling out the counter Seekers as well from Saucy. It's going to keep them trapped up, and Evan, they even know one is still an A main. Sentinels has all the information, and second just sprays down past the Cabbages as Tens goes for the flank. Eventually falls, but second has been holding the fort. Showstopper going out for a third kill, and Team Liquid only 15 seconds remaining on the clock. Another pop flash, and second on for the fifth kill here. Can he clean house? Here's the spike. Oh, the reload. Can't get the entire wipe. This, of course, you see Zelsis. Oh, what? Nats with the Guardian brings a point back for Team Liquid.
I mean, Nats is just all over the place there. I don't even know how he gets this done. I thought Sentinels had read this so well. Like, as soon as there's the paranoia from Tens, he turns immediately around. Like, as soon as he sends that paranoia out, he's like, they're not coming this way. I just feel it in my bones. And he sends out a smoke to the top of ropes from his side, and he's rotating over there to try to buy some time. And then they're able to read it really nicely, send a bunch of utility. The ace without the final kill, without the 6th kill from the res, comes through for Zekin, but somehow Nats is able to pull it back, able to account for those off angles, the teleport from Tens, able to deal with it. Now Tens is an op, watching this angle. Unbelievable stuff from Nats there.
Yeah, just what a heroic move to try to bring things back to a tie. Now Sentinel's a good adjustment. They gave up a bit too much space. They had to use way too much utility. John QT does get pushed back. He's been paranoid, but the trap wire is still there. He gets one kill, the Neural Theft online, and he's escaped. And his teammates are here working off of the pings. A second kill. They still haven't cleared main, and there's the operator. Now Wenzo getting that information, but a bit too late to recover this round, it seems, as Zelsis gets the trade from behind. And it's going to be Sentinels swinging right back.
It's all John QT here to set this up for the Sentinels. A great read at the top of Heaven to get that Neural Theft, and then everything is so easy. I love what I'm seeing here from John QT with his cameras. He's using them to set up trades for his teammates. He's using them to bait information so that they can respond to it quickly. Now, in this time around, he's just got his trapwire, gets tripped. He's able to find the kill, and then it makes it, way easier for everybody else with that Neural Theft. They're all playing off of it very nicely. But in this round and the round before, this round he's got a camera set up right towards B main, right behind Tens' back. The round before, he was set up for Zelsis up on rafters at B. So right now, seeing a lot of really interesting ones. Now we're going back to what I would call the default camera for most ciphers these days.
Sure.
Right up into A Heaven with a couple trap wires for the entries.
Saucy, this timing. Okay, he's able to just barely get away, and with that camera call coming out, Saucy's like, oh, okay, I'm still here. Fills the smoke, makes sure that Team Liquid aren't going to get any cheeky ideas. He's going to continue to play bait, swings around for a second, a third, and now can he get it? No, he's not going to be able to clean house with the classic, but now Enzo left all alone, and he will be taken down by Zelsis.
Yeah, great read again. Playing off that camera, even though it's a little bit delayed because Saucy had to go check mid again. It's coming right back over, able to find a kill, bait him out into the ropes, and immediately responding nicely. Kind of fakes like he's going to go all the way up and keep retreating, and then drops back down, gets some big kills. Nicely handled, of course, with the weak buy for Team Liquid. Not a ton to write home about here, but Sentinels on pace to take this map right now. 2 rounds away from getting the win. Now you've got a Viper's Pit in Zelsys' hands as well to make matters worse here for Team Liquid.
Yeah, and another timeout called. I mean, the previous timeout, they use it, and they barely win that round thanks to Nats getting those clutch genes online. So even that round win, I'm sure from a coach's perspective, you saw a lot that you wanted to work on, and then you give away 2 rounds. Emil not wanting to let this get to map point too easily. Wants to try to make things just a bit closer here. And now all the players from Team Liquid sharing their ideas. Emil seeming to like what he's hearing from his players, all right? They all seem to be on the right page.
Yeah, it seems like they have got the same read that he does on what they need to do differently. And what is that going to be? They've got the showstopper for Keiko as well. So is this going to be just kind of a off-the-rip fast hit? You know, usually on A, Saucy's pretty aware of these kind of things. He's pretty good at dodging them if that is going to be the play call. But now I'm seeing Keiko shift over towards mid. Maybe it's going to be a crunch and then try to use that showstopper to clear that extra bit of space once you've got a Heaven under control, something like that. I don't know exactly what Team Liquid wants to do. We'll see as the Paranoia not going to be used yet for Mystic. Mystic has his ult. Nats has his too, so you can see dueling Vipers pits again.
Yeah, we could see that. I mean, the early one used from Zelsys, so Sentinels, they've got the Cypher traps over on B Heaven as well. B is pretty much on lockdown. I mean, unless Team Liquid throws every piece of utility and ultimate they have, it's going to be very difficult to break through that. And right now, they're just trying to funnel them into this operator from TenZ. Can he get the kill? No, he misses on the showstopper. It's still alive, but the Paranoia is going to keep him alive for just a bit longer. Can he get the swing back out? He finds one. Still looking for the creep up. The paint shows is keeping him at base. Saucy, look at this timing. He's going to catch Yampi off guard. And now Team Liquid trapped within the site. Mystic does have from the shadows. If he's able to get 1 kill, he's going to try to swing back out, but I think they might have seen his barrel. No! TenZ scopes out at the wrong time. John QT there for the trade, 4v2. No, now down to a 3v2. Enzo, he's been defending on that wall. The guiding light not finding the exact targets they want. Only Keiko getting flashed out the slow orb just to buy time. Keiko, he needs to get this kill onto Saucy if he wants to make sure they can even things up. Enzo just hiding that as well, but Saucy wins out. The boom bot spots Enzo, and he's going to go down after only 1 more kill. And it's going to be Sentinels going to map point.
Yeah, I mean, this is just a great read from Sentinels, you know, with that Viper's Pit and the Cypher setup over on the B. They had it pretty darn safe. I even thought John QT could lean a little bit harder towards the A side on that setup, but wanted to make sure that B Heaven was on lockdown. TenZ again with the op, able to buy time and space with his Paranoia to make sure that he's not identified with that showstopper. And again, everybody's so aware here on the Sentinels, so disciplined for this expected setup. Yeah, it was a delayed hit from Team Liquid. It wasn't like a off-the-rip, go showstopper, but it was still very well accounted for. And now Sentinels on map point.
Yeah, and they have the Seekers as well, so that Viper's Pit from that's not entirely safe. Of course, Team Liquid, they do have the Resurrect as well on the stage, so they could afford to play a bit more aggressive if they so chose. Try to just push through, get a trade, get the Resurrection to keep the man advantage alive, but for now it's just going to be sprays in mid, trying to keep each other honest. Zelsys going to be on the short end of that deal.
Just stuck. Trying to get through mid, and all those smokes there. Yampi gonna have to use a Hawk to check to make sure that they've got the room to rotate out here. As their smokes have dissipated.
Trailblazer just used now at the 1 minute mark, coming out from Saucy as well on the A side. Sentinels has a good idea that A is still relatively weak. Sure, you could still get the rotate through sewers, but he's got his crosshairs trained past the enemy's toxic screen. The camera and the trap wire is still so alive here. He's shell at the ready for second to make sure he can cover both parts of the site. From the shadows all the way to backside, but that allows second to get the peek before the wall comes out. Blast pack just to keep them at bay. Mystic now surely spotted here at backside. The Viper's Pit comes up, but here come the Seekers through alley. Sentinels are going to wait for that ultimate to give them a bit more information, and Enzo going for the resurrect immediately off of that kill. Zekin still sprays down for another one. Sentinels keeping the man advantage, and they are just pushing through, overpowering this Viper's pit. It has now gone down, and it's all down to Yampi. He can't find the targets. The paranoia, he has no idea that Tens has come around. Time not going to be there while he gets the kill. Tens will be awaiting as the clock ticks down, and it's a 13-8 victory for the squad coming over from Americas.
I mean, this is just phenomenal here from Sentinels. Yeah, it's their map pick, but looking really clean on both sides of the map. A 6-6 on attacker's side, very strong, even on the new slight changes to split to give the attackers a little bit of advantage on this newer version of it. But that 6-6 is, you'll take that every day as Sentinels, and then the defender side is so well thought out, so well handled. The layers there are so good. Love the way John QT is setting himself up to make good decisions with his information, to set his teammates up for those picks, for success. Zekin really holding down the fort at times, getting some huge multi-kills, even though he got that 1 5-kill round. I thought it was going to be the 6. I thought we were going to get the 6
the 6-kill ace, yeah. Could have been a great highlight. Still an impressive one for sure. Top fans here for Tens, and of course some of the Korean casters as well. It's been a while since the Korean crowd has gotten to see them commentate here on home ground. It's a big treat. Of course, it is the weekend now, finally. Now looking at 6 p.m. and we do have a full house as the just witnessed Sentinels getting the lead in this very first semifinal.
Stellar match though, regardless. Some awesome moments, some great pistol heroics here from Team Liquid. Just able to really find their footing with their mechanics. Mystic having a couple really nice moments himself with that Omen again. Tens is doing a good job being really tricky to deal with. A lot of really awesome stuff from both teams. I mean, one of the best split maps I've seen in terms of just the back and forths. I mean, at the end, yeah, the Sentinels started to run away with it a little bit, but Team Liquid still came with some really good ideas. Just a little bit ahead of the curve is Sentinels there on their defender side, and that Cypher, man, makes things so difficult for an attacking side if you don't have really good ability to keep track of it and eliminate that utility. And we saw so many times that John QT was able to get impact, with those trap wires. So the cameras in particular, the setups on those cameras were all over the place. On B side a lot, which you don't see all the time. A lot of Cyphers kind of just lock down A and say, well, this is my home. I'm not moving from here. But he was all over the map and making really good reads for the Sentinels.
Yeah, to me, that's one of the big things that Sentinels read correctly, right? Is that Team Liquid, sure, they have a Sentinel in Sage, but they don't have the traditional lurk capabilities of the Cyphers. So it's going to be Nats on that Viper. And with that toxic screen on the A side, it's going to be the Viper who's always going to be there. Saucy keeps him in check constantly with that utility, allowing John QT to then switch over to that B side. Some good adjustments based on their opponent's team composition, and even the first kills going well their way, 13-8, even an eco to boot. And Zekin, a bit of a quieter performance in their last match against DRX, but he's right back to where he enjoys being the top of the scoreboard.
It's hard to believe that nobody had over 200 ACS on Team Liquid. It feels like they played a lot better than that, to be honest. It felt like a pretty strong performance overall, and it is a little bit tough. I mean, Nats had that 4K. Think about that if he doesn't find that 4K round.
Yeah.
Oof. But it felt different than the score shows, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I think there were a couple of close rounds where if that happens, maybe Sentinels goes back to an eco a round or two early, and that gives one more edge to Team Liquid. But like you mentioned, in the second half, once Sentinels went on to defense, they just had the read on Team Liquid. Team Liquid with the Sage not able to find an opening to try to drive things home, get the lead back. And that means Sentinels will be leading 1-0, but of course this is going to be a